Black, Poetic G. Beautiful love, always. Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm King George. I'm the owner of T.Y.I Productions. I'm the curator of Black 31 magazine. Today, I'm here with another special guest. This brother right here is definitely from the community. I'm from Philadelphia streets. And most importantly, we're going to dive into this interview, right? We're going to dive into his story, deep depths of his story, but also we're going to speak on some community topics, and it's going to be real fun. So without further ado, can we give it up for brother Rainie from Cheney? Let's go. Let's go.
Much love, bro. Much love with you.
Yeah, man. How you doing, man? How you feel, brother?
Man, honestly, I can't complain. It's all love, especially with everything I got going on with Cheney, with university.
Yes.
So, yeah, honestly, I'm blessed, to be honest.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Now I got a question, right? How did the journey of you joining Cheney? How did that start? How did that originally start from the beginning?
So, I came to Cheney in 2002. I came there out of juvenile placement, and I came to Cheney. I went to college because my grandma asked me to. I really didn't have no intentions on going to college. After placement, I just wanted to go home because I had spent so much time in placement. So when I had the option to go to college, I got accepted to a bunch of schools. I decided to go to Cheney because my sister at the time was running for the track team. And so that's why I selected Cheney. I didn't know anything about HBCUs. I didn't know nothing about Cheney.
Yeah.
For me, it was more so coming to Cheney was more so it was a way of me escaping that cycle, that cycle that I felt like my family was caught up in of, repeated struggle. And so that's what motivated me to really, go to college.
Yeah. Okay, that's heavy. That's heavy. That's heavy, man. And when you initially showed up at Cheney, right? What was that feeling when you seen like other peers and they seen you? What was that feeling like?
At first, I was blessed to have a roommate who was a sophomore who was dug in, and he knew his father was a professor, and he knew the laws of the land of how the university worked. And the thing is, like with Cheney is a different place.
Yes.
It is a place that really molds you and really prepares you uh, for the real world. And so when I got there, so much of it reminded me of being back home. The only difference was that, of course, dorm life. I played on a basketball team, so working out. And so when I first got there, I was blessed to really be able to meet a lot of upperclassmen who really became good mentors to me, uh, helped me deal with the fears that I had. And the thing is, the fears when I first got to Cheney, my fears weren't, I didn't fear anybody in particular. I wasn't afraid of the work.
Yes.
My fears more so revolved around not knowing what to do in this new environment. Growing up in North Philly, for the most part, your first response is usually violence. And so even in school, and so being in this new environment where, at that time, there were a lot of brothers really still going around pro-black, talking about, like our role and our purpose here in the world as African American men.
Mm-hmm.
So still coming into that type of environment it helped me get through my first 2 years. And by my junior year, I became more of like an old head up there. But
Okay.
that first 2 years, it like a lot of the old heads that were in the fraternities,
Yeah.
the basketball coaches, Cheney itself was like it was a community. Again, it was like, don't get me wrong, in a way you had like that gated community feeling,
Yeah.
like most people may try to call it like that project feeling, but
Yeah.
like one thing about it is, like Harvard isn't for everybody. you
Yes.
know and Cheney isn't for everybody. But when you come there, it's like you get this love. You not you people know who you are. You, of course, you have your haters, but you have a lot of people that support you. And so for me, I coming to Cheney, I ended up like I found a family when I got there. By the time my sophomore year, man, Cheney it became my home, and everybody up there became my brothers and my sisters and my cousins.
Wow. Wow. That's special, man. That's special. And and most importantly, what is your greatest memory on Cheney's campus?
Man, I have a lot. For me, I think that my most fondest memory, of course, would be joining my fraternity, my organization. And the reason why is because I love my all my friends, all my homies from back home. All my guys from the streets. I love them dudes, and it's a different type of camaraderie when you out there having to survive and figuring out strategies on how to survive with these type of people. And so when I got introduced to Alpha Phi Alpha, it was more so like the brothers were like the mentalities were different. Like they were so much more mature.
Yes.
And these guys, they were the ones that came into my life that said, "Yo, listen, you got to figure out a direction on somewhere to go. Like,
Yes.
you need to, like you got to try to figure out your purpose." And that's
Mhm.
what, and so for me, becoming an alpha was deep because the process, is not, it was like, it wasn't, it's a brotherhood that you had to earn your way into. And everything that I learned and everything that I went through, it really, I felt like it gave me the tools to believe in myself, and
Mm.
to and the process that they put me through, I felt like it really gave me they encouraged me to pretty much just like no matter what, you can't, nothing can break me, nothing could, I can't fail. And so that's what, so for me, my greatest moment was becoming an alpha.
Okay. 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 That's special, man. That's special. That's special. Um. I want to fast forward a little bit. Fast forward to like now in the days of like right now that we living in right now.
Mm.
Um. When it comes to community value, when it comes to uh children, and you see all the back and forth ignorance, right, between young children in our communities, young black children. How do you feel about all the gun violence that's plaguing our communities?
you know it's I'm in it. I ain't gonna say I'm in it, but like I grew up in it. I seen it. I've been around it. Um, and it's hard because you know and a lot of people don't understand the value of life, and I think that when you get to this point of understanding how precious it is, when you see people lose it senselessly, it bothers you. And at this stage in my life, I have become more emotional. I feel things, like Dick Gregory said, like, when you have been chosen and to, to take, to wear these glasses of reality, it's like, you have to deal with everything that comes with that, and the thing the thing is, you can't force it on nobody. And so it's hard for you to be conscious of, this system that's set in place to keep this continued violence going on in the community. Like, it's so hard for you to see and understand the system, and to try to go really preach it to people so that they could so you could try to pull them out or to try to stop it. Because yeah, we understand it, you know what I mean? But for them, it's like it's really a jungle. It's really a whole, like, the college, being on these college campuses, and then going back down here to these cities where, like, we deal with it. Like, we got to deal with inflation, but imagine people living in poverty, how they got to deal with inflation. I mean, and so it's like it's hard. It's definitely hard for, to see it. My little brother was in a situation where he had got shot, and like, it's just over stupid stuff. And it's like, at this point, like, I love Cheney, but my main platform for real is criminal justice reform.
Yes.
Like, I'm big on trying to figure out ways to slow down this process of constantly incarcerating our youth, the people from our communities. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that you'll ever be able to stop it, because I don't think that crime will ever stop. You know what I mean? But trying to figure out ways where you can slow this thing down, and really inform people of this dark cloud, or this smoke screen that they caught up in. But back, in terms of the violence, I like it. Like, I hate it. It's one part. It's one part of the game that I don't like. And it's just, whatever I can do to try to come up with any programs, or to help prevent it. I'm all for it.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Because yeah, man, gun violence been so detrimental that it's something that we always got to speak on. Especially for the youth right now. The youth it seemed like these been some of the most trying times, especially with our youth. And when you see these things, right? How do how do all of that even tie into mental health, like the mental health crisis that we having within our inner cities?
Man, so I was working in the after school program. I worked in a couple after school programs, and what you tend to see is that a lot of our youth are being diagnosed with ADHD, or some form of autism. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I don't think that they're being treated properly. Uh, you know, uh, I think that I think that they're not even receiving the proper treatment all the time. They're not given the proper resources to teach them to manage their emotions, to teach them to try to get them to understand as much as possible. Or teach them as they call it, their daily learning tools. And I think that's the problem with our inner city kids, is that when you go out to the suburbs, those kids are not only given all the resources, but they're given the proper resources. Here in the city, it's like the kids are slighted. They're not given all that they need, to help them, or all the supports that they need. And I think that all plays a role. And so, like, it's being left, like, the parents. It's just, I think it's the other issue is that it's not a collective effort. Like, it's either the parents are not there, or the schools are not there, or overall it's not a third party there to help manage everything. So, I do feel like mental health is a big issue. It plays a big role in all this violence that's going on in our cities.
Yes, 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 absolutely, man, absolutely, absolutely, yes, yes. When it comes to writing, I hear that you are a published book author.
Yes.
Um, why did you decide to dive into writing How much do you love writing? And let us know exactly what your piece of art was exactly about.
So yeah, I love writing. To be honest, I started writing when I was locked up. Well, no, I started writing when I was in college. That's when I first got inspired to start writing after my grandma passed away.
Yes.
But the first time I really started writing is when I was locked up. I was locked up in a little small county called Wilkes-Barre. It was a racist county, and to get off the block, I was just getting into these fights. I was just getting into fights, going to the hole, getting in fights, going to the hole. Because either the one thing about Wilkes-Barre was that it was either it was either a block for gang members or the Aryans, and so I didn't fit on any of the blocks, and so they I wasn't into no one trying to extort me, so I kept ending up in these situations where I was going to the hole, and so eventually I got comfortable in the hole, and my case, because of my case, I was thought I was looking at doing some time,
Yeah.
and so I like I needed somebody to talk to, so I started writing these letters to my mentor, and I remember she had wrote me back, and she just told me to just write. And so that was when I first started writing like parts of my first book. And the first book that I eventually that I published, that I published right out of jail, it was called The 10th Codes, Street Ideologies, where after a while, once I eventually got dug into the jail, I had put together this survey asking dudes in the jail what were the top 10 codes of the streets and why. And so after getting like all these codes, I narrowed them down to the top 10 with the sole purpose of trying to expose like the delusional aspect of being in the streets.
Yeah.
And so when I came home, uh, I was encouraged by Brother Hakeem from Black and Nobel I let him read it, and he encouraged me to publish it. And I thought that the whole publishing process was really difficult, and it was, in terms of making sure like you getting everything, all your ducks lined up with your editing, and just contracts and all that. So uh once I met Brother Hakeem, he was the one that really talked to me about publishing my book. And after publishing my first book, which is called The 10th Code, Street Ideologies, uh I pretty much, and again, I'm Cheney alum. I started working on a project where I was able to dig into doing research on the university, and
Yeah.
once I learned all this stuff about Cheney. It started off as in 2017. I created what was called Cheney History Month, where in February I used every day to to put out some form of Cheney history, and so that was a success. And by 2020, I ended up creating in March Cheney Women's History Month, where I go every day of the month. I highlight a a woman, a female Cheney alum,
Okay.
and pretty much tell their story. And so after seeing that people were enjoying the stories and the history,
Yeah.
I felt like they were ready for the full story. And so what I did was, for like a year and a half, I just was just going around. I was trying to figure out where I was trying to find authentic history on Cheney. Um, and I wanted to produce something that that really told Cheney's true story. I
Yeah.
mean, and educated people on the purpose of why HBCUs are important and relevant, and why Cheney is important for not just America's history, but not just Black history, but America's history. So after doing after like a year and a half of doing all this research, I ended up producing the book, my second book, which is called The First HBCU on the History of Cheney.
Mm, mm, mm. That's heavy. That's heavy, brother. Mm. Bringing it back to bringing it back to prison. Um, when when you was able to when you was able to write in prison, right? Once you begin, you said, because I know you said you first started writing initially in prison.
Right.
Now, um, what did that bring to you once you begin to start writing in prison? Did that bring a sense of freedom to you?
Yeah. So one thing I learned about storytelling was that, and especially with jail, is that sometimes you needed to get out of there. And there were times where, I ain't, as a man, like, don't nobody want to be locked up,
Yes.
so you in these cells away from your family, and it just gets so dark in there. And so the one thing, it is always like, sometimes you got to get in your head. The problem is that sometimes some people get stuck in their head, and that become their reality. So what I did was, to get out of there, I started writing. I started telling my story.
Okay.
And for me, it was like I would wake up and I would hear like that third party voice,
Yeah.
telling this story of what really happened in my life.
Yeah.
And so I ended up having all these little stories, short stories. And then then after a while, I was like, I said I want to just write. I just started pulling out specific topics where I was like, all right, boom, I'm gonna just write on this. And so, hold on, can you give me a quick second? I want to show you something, okay? Hold on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So this right here is a piece that I wrote when I was locked up, right? It's all handwritten. See?
Yes. That,
And as you see, it's called Escaping the Game.
yes.
You know, I had to, I rewrote it pretty much
Yeah.
5 times, hand wrote it.
Oh, wow.
Um, and so what I would do is, when those dark days came around, I would just write a story, and
Yeah.
or I would retell, a story of something that happened in my life, and I would rewrite it in a way that I wished it would happen, in a better way that I wished the outcome
Oh,
came. And so I ended up having all these stories,
yes.
and yeah, it became an outlet for me to help me deal with my time.
Mm, mm. And let the people know how valuable is time.
Man, listen, you don't really understand the value of, time, until you don't have no control of it no more. And that means, like, when you can tell somebody what you will and what you won't do, but when you get forced against that will to do what somebody else wants you to do, is a whole different ball game.
Yes.
And it's like, when you come home from incarceration, it does, you know you see the world completely different. The thing is, I do believe, and I actually said this in that book that I wrote, that you have a window of time when you come home from jail. You have a window of time where you have to get things going, because if you don't get things going in this window of time, you gonna go back to your old ways. And so, like, I when I believe that when I came home, like I had this window of time to, to make certain things happen.
Yes.
And so, but yeah, I realized that time, and time is ticking. Every second is ticking, and every second is worth something. And you can waste it or you can use it for something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But like I would never ever again give the system any more of my time. I gave them too much, and and the thing is, you don't get none of it back. You don't get none of it back. You come home, you look different.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the world changed. I was actually talking to an old head that did 40 years.
Mm.
He came home and he said he was walking down the street and he got dizzy because he didn't walk. When he left, there wasn't no curves and no sidewalks or whatever like that. So, no, you just don't want. I'm at that point where I don't want to waste no more time. I want to be out here in this world, enjoying it the best I can. I mean,
Yes.
so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And how inspiring is your story for the next young brother that's coming up? What can he learn from it?
I feel like, even me, like I have one of the things that I learned is, and I'm not alone on this. There are millions of people out there like this, where we are the first to make that real change in our family lives, right? We are the ones that paved that path, right? And the
Yes.
thing is, like, in paving that path, like, we may not get the guidance that we need, like, because nobody never did this before. Like, we don't
That's
have
true.
nobody, like, ain't nobody, like nobody in our family ever did this before. And so when you doing something that no one in your environment has ever done before, it is hard. And so I say that to say, for me, my life has been based on trial and error, because this, like, where I come from and where I want to be,
Yes.
like, no one has ever done this. And
Yes.
there's nothing against my family, and there's nothing against, but like, it's deeper than wanting to be a millionaire or billionaire. Like it's things in this world that I want to see. It's information that I want to be exposed to, and if you don't have people in your corner, to teach you or to guide you, you fall a lot. And
Yes.
so, it's just that, that's my whole thing. You have to, every time you slip and you fall, though, you gotta learn, and you can't just stay down. You always gotta get up. You always gotta fight, because, as my man Les Brown said, it ain't
Yeah.
over. It ain't over until I win. I mean,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jewels, y'all. People need to be hearing stuff like this. Absolutely. And most importantly, brother, what do you love most about yourself?
everything. I love everything about myself. I love everything that I've been through. I appreciate everything that I've been through, because I wouldn't be me. I mean, and if it's more than anything, like, I love the fact that I refuse to quit. I mean, and it doesn't matter where I'm at, where I how many times I fall. Like, I'm a fighter. I mean, so that's the one thing I really do love about myself.
Yes. 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 And and let the people know, why is it important for you personally to be yourself?
Man, listen, because first and foremost, you one of a kind. I mean, like, you can, like, it, like, when you realize that it's no one in the world like you, you'll start talking how you want to talk. You'll walk how you want to walk. And it's like you walk to your own tune. You become your own tune. But if you get caught up out here in this world trying to imitate people, I mean, like, you'll spend your entire life stressed out, not really knowing that the whole time you shot fired because you spent most of your life imitating people and you wasn't who you were, and so your inner self. They say it's that it's we have that inner battle, and so your inner self know who you want to be. Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, but you done spent so much of your time out here frauding, trying to be with the world, trying to impress the world, but that ain't who you supposed to be. And so we have those internal battles where dang, like we wake up stressed out at the world, not knowing why. You barking at everybody, snapping on everybody. I mean, and whole reason is because you out here driving this SEPTA bus, but the whole time you wanted to be an accountant. You know what I mean? Like, but you ain't,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like, and so, like, it's real, like, you have to be who you are, no matter what people say.
Absolutely, absolutely, brother, absolutely. 1837, Cheney University, um, CU. Let the people know why Cheney University the best. Let the people know.
Say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Let the people know why Cheney University the best.
Oh, man. Listen, so, first and foremost, again, Har- Harvard isn't for everybody. Yale isn't for everybody. Duke isn't for everybody. Listen, Howard isn't for everybody. Clark or Fisk isn't for everybody. And Cheney isn't for everybody. But the one thing about Cheney is when you come to that school, you'll be loved, you'll be supported. You know, the alumni is amazing, man. Like again, like we are a real family, like a tight family. And when you on even and again, like Cheney isn't a big school, you know what I mean? And so but being, the one thing about coming there, you're not a number. People know your name. People care about your dreams and your aspirations. I mean, and honestly, like I like again, even when it come down to the Greek organizations, like the alumni, the older alumni, they called them tribes because there weren't just Greek organizations. There were like up at Cheney, there were organizations for everything. Like there was a Hoop Sci-Fi, you know what I mean? There was another organization called Musa Mu. Like people came up there and were able to find these other organizations that they fit into,
Yes,
and you come up there and you'll find your tribe.
yes.
You know what I mean? And again, like with Cheney, you get more than just that book knowledge. You get life knowledge up there, and so like and it's not because I graduated from there, and it's not because it's it's because it's like that's what I got from Cheney. And when you talk to anybody from Cheney, they'll tell you like what Cheney gave us to come out here into this world with, man. Listen, it's like like none other. You know what I mean? So that's one of the beauties of coming to Cheney, of being at Cheney, of being a part of our family.
That's heavy. That's heavy. That's heavy. I gotta give it a nickname. Stay true. See you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yo, that's heavy. That's heavy. Cheney University. That's heavy. Shout out to Cheney. Shout out to all the alumni. Shout out to all the future alumni too, man. So absolutely, man. Absolutely. I respect that so much. Um, last but not least, right? What advice do you have for young brothers? Young brothers that's growing up. Um, what do they need to do to be successful? Most importantly, what do they need to do to keep themselves out of the streets? Since we dealing with so much on the streets right now, and third, what do they need to know to be most importantly grounded in being a man?
So that's a lot. First and foremost, my advice is don't ever give up. Like no matter what's going on, like no matter what your situation may be. I mean, things may be messed up right now. Like you may not have that paper that you want, You may not have those clothes that you want.
Yes.
I mean, you may not even have, like, the girls may not want you right now. I mean, like, but you gotta hold on. I mean, because things eventually get greater. I mean, but you have to hold on, and people not going to believe in you. I mean, they not going to believe in you. They don't
Yes.
care about you. The only person that only person that's going to really, 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 really care about you is yourself. I mean, and if you don't see that, like, you'll find yourself constantly being frustrated, following behind people that don't care about you, constantly trying to use you as a a dummy. You know what I mean, like, so, like, I you always stay true to yourself. I mean, find out who you are, fight for what you believe in. You know what I mean, and in this world, you know, all you really have is your word and your loyalty. And I'm telling you this from personal experiences. Do not burn a bridge that you're going to have to cross tomorrow, or that you may have to cross tomorrow. I mean, and because I'm going to tell you, if you people find out that if they get around that people can't take your word, then is you don't want to be that person that don't nobody trust, like that don't nobody believe in, and that's important. Don't nobody tell you. Don't nobody will never tell you that. You have to stay true to your word, because if
Yes.
you don't stay true to your word, I'm telling you, like, you'll find yourself constantly being pushed to the side. People won't want to deal with you. Like, people won't and then when you come and want to do things, people ain't going to support you, because, like, they ain't going to trust you. They ain't going to think that they could you done spent them too much. I mean, so always stay true to yourself, and when you find those people that you want to put in your circle, be loyal to them, and make sure it's coming back to you. I mean, and so
Yes.
that's my thing.
That's heavy. That's heavy. That's heavy, man. Yes. And 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 I got a joke real quick. I gotta make you laugh, man, before we finish this one. But I thought you was about to hit us with that Scarface quote, like, all you got in this world, man, is your words and your balls. But
Yo, listen, listen, like, I ain't gonna listen. So, being up, I do have to watch sometimes, because when it comes to certain topics, I get real passionate when I'm talking on certain topics. So,
yeah,
but when you talking on certain topics that you passionate about,
absolutely,
what's politically right goes out the window, and I gotta talk to you how I feel like you going to take it in. So I'm at that point where I also gotta watch out what I say. Like,
absolutely, man. But listen, brother. I respect you so much, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. These are the conversations that we should be having in the community. Listen, y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in and loving the energy from both of us, man. This brother right here, like, listen. This is a brother that learned something, and he really can pass on a lot of gems to the world. Y'all need to be sharing this live. Share this live. Share it. Most importantly, where can the people find you at?
well, so, I'm on all platforms. Facebook, Rainie. That's spelled Rainie. That's Rainy, like the weather, with an IE. Uh, on Instagram. If you wanna check out the book, if you want to learn more on Cheney's history, go check out my website. It's called The First HBCU. That's spelled the THE HBCU.com. Go on there, learn some history on Cheney, and if you get and of course support your boy and go buy my book, The First HBCU.
Yes, yes, that's heavy. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Listen, shout out to Rainy. Listen, y'all, go support brother Rainy. Shout out to Cheney, the first HBCU, 1837. You know what I mean? And a quote that I said, "Stay true, see you." You know what I mean? So that's gonna be their new slogan, y'all. Stay true, see you. And,
Much
and, and
love.
listen, this is a good brother right here, y'all. Listen, go support the brother, and y'all know each and every week, please tap in to Black 31 magazine. We are Listen, we could have your favorite actor, we can have your favorite poet, we can have your favorite book author. Listen, we could have your favorite student from Cheney. Listen, we could have the little girl down the street with the lemonade stand, or it could be you. So listen, we are the platform of truth, the home of the champions, and the place where we uplift man, woman, and child. Peace and love, y'all. One. Appreciate
Peace,
you,
boy.
brother.
All right.
Stress it. Pay attention, train your mind. During these times, we need more education, not incarceration. To elevate from negativity at all costs. Knowledge and power. Remember this game spilled, given. Embrace it. T.Y.I, Poetic G. Peace and love, one. I love it.